Good morning and welcome to Release to Results. This is our free series of A Course in Miracles workbook topic-based sessions. So we're going through the workbook and we're releasing, we're letting go, we're surrendering to God. Anything that comes up in our way, any blocks, any negative energy, so we can experience the truth of what we are. A better time, an easier time, a transformation, a growth out of the ego. So we're doing every day and release to results several times a day with 3 sessions every day. You can let go of a lot of garbage. Happy to have you join us at releaseresults.com or here for free on YouTube. Um, Lesson 20 today is I am determined to see. So I'm determined to see. What are you determined to see? Well, we're looking for peace, happiness, salvation. The idea that's suggested here is that our mind is so undisciplined that instead we find ourselves, uh, instead of determining to see those good things, those things that are available to us, we might be seeing sorrow and pain and suffering and fear. So, what are you determined to see? Today, you get to make a decision. You get to make a decision what you're going to see and release looking for those things that maybe aren't serving you so well. So just follow along as best you can. Releasing is a simple process of allowing the feelings to come up, sitting with them, and letting them go. It's so simple that it gets easily overlooked and bypassed, but everybody can do it. Anything you're carrying, any negative energy, you can just allow it, let it move, and let it go. Surrender it to God, release it. You can even ask God for help in this process. Ask for thy help, O Lord. Strongly encouraged by Dr. David R. Hawkins, one of the greatest influences in the whole releasing, surrendering idea. So I am determined to see, what have you been looking at? What have you been determined to see? Are you ever looking for problems, for pain, for sorrow? Do you find yourself looking at all kinds of things you don't really want to look at? And could you notice when you're looking at that stuff or looking for that stuff, how does that feel? In your body, in your field, in your awareness, how does that feel? And labeled or not, could you feel it? And could you release it? Yes, no. Could you drop the weight? Let it go. Would you let it go? And another thing that you may find yourself determined to see and look at. I'm determined to see. So I'm going to be looking at something. Is there any looking at your errors or the errors of other people? Are you seeking sin, ignorance, mistakes, wrongs in yourself or anyone else? Do you find yourself seeing that, looking at that? And that's okay. First off, nothing wrong with that. Just notice, could you notice behind all the perceptions of wrong and sin and error, the energy of that? How's that feeling? And could you welcome it? Let that energy start to unstick and move. And could you let go of any or all of that energy? Would you let go of seeing error, sin, and wrong? You don't have to. It's optional. When could you let go? Being determined to see sin and error and wrong in yourself and others. I am determined to see. What have you been determining to see? What have you been focusing on? And this is just an opportunity to check in with where you've been focusing on what hasn't been working. Are you looking for and seeing problems in yourself and others? Mistakes, sin, guilt, fear? Did you notice how much of your seeing is looking upon that which you don't even really want in your life? And could you just say yes to that rather than resisting it, rather than fighting it? You just say yes, oh yeah, I'm doing that. And notice the energy that's been carried along with those kinds of thoughts, looking at those kinds of things. And could you let that energy flow freely rather than bottling it up, saving it for later? Could you let it come up now? And could you just sit with this energy without trying to change it, modify it, do anything about it? Hmm. And could you let that go? Always an option, never forced, just a decision. Could you let go of seeing, looking at, thinking about, feeling that kind of stuff? Would you let go of it? Because the workbook at this point is recommending there's very little discipline in mind. And so we find ourselves looking at, seeing, thinking about, feeling all kinds of things we don't want. And as God is sharing everything with you, all this power, when you focus on that, that stuff just shows up. So I am determined to see. Now let's just look at, could we determine to see things positively? Could we look for salvation, enlightenment, happiness, love, peace, your innocence, your holiness? I am determined to see. Could you open up to seeing yourself as innocent and holy? And what about others as innocent and holy? Could you be open to that? And if not, could you notice the resistance, refusal, rejection of seeing yourself and others as innocent and holy? And without making good or bad of that resistance, could you just notice if it's there and what it feels like? Maybe a sensation in the chest or in the stomach. Could you feel that more? Just let that resistance to your and others' holiness, sinlessness, innocence. There's resistance to it. Could you let that resistance up to release it? And could you surrender that resistance. Give it up. Turn it over to God. Would you surrender the resistance to seeing yourself and others as holy, innocent, and sinless? You never have to, entirely optional. I am determined to see. The power of your decision to see is all that vision requires. What have you decided to see? And can you notice, what about seeing yourself and others as happy, perfect, just right, just as you and they are? True. Could you notice any resistance, any refusal or denial of seeing yourself and others as happy, perfect, just right, just how you are? And they are. And it's okay to resist. That resistance runs out if you let it run out. Could you let the resistance happen? Could you welcome the resistance? That feeling of refusal or denial of seeing yourself and others as happy, perfect, just right, just as you are. Could you sit with this resistance, let it flow just for a moment? And could you let it go? Would you let it go and see yourself and others as happy, perfect, just right, just as you are? Make a decision to see. Your decision to see something is all that vision requires. What have you decided to see? And has there been any decision to see separation? See yourself as apart from God, from other people, from situations, from what's in the world? And is there any resistance to deciding to see wholeness, oneness, all in one? Can you notice any refusal or rejection, pushing away, refusing to see the one, the whole, the all, breaking it up into little pieces, resistance to one whole, union? It's okay to resist. Could you resist more and run that resistance out? Whatever that feels like, some energy in the body, in your field, as you let that run, letting it run out. That is releasing. Could you release any or all of this energy? Refusal to see one. Could you release it? Would you release this resistance or refusal to see all, to see the whole, and make a decision to see what really is? When could you release the resistance and the refusal to seeing all that is? I am determined to see. Your decision to see is all that vision requires. What have you been determined to see, deciding to perceive, to look at? Could you let go of, surrender what isn't so pleasant? Thank you so much for releasing with us this morning. We've got promotion going right now at releasetoresults.com. You'll get 14 days free access to over 100 live releasing sessions every month, hundreds of session replays, our community of people who are committed to releasing, to going free, surrendering the ego, experiencing God. Plus, I'm going to send you 3 books just for trying us out: Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness, The Stairway to Enlightenment, both of those by Dr. David R. Hawkins, one of the Sedona mystics, and The Sedona Method, Your Key to Lasting Happiness, Success, Peace, and Emotional Well-Being by Hale Dwoskin. I'll send that to you all for free, give you 14 days of free sessions. And if you like it, right now there's a promotional price of $89 a month for access to these. So you can have a continued practice of releasing and let it all go. You know, what I did for so long was I let a little bit go here and there, and life will get better. And then I'd stop. I just kind of coast. Well, Release to Results is a platform, is a container, is an opportunity, is a stairway to release more and more every day. We do sessions 7 days a week, 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 7 days a week. That's Mountain Standard Time. Love to see you there at releasetoresults.com, and have the best day you can. See you in the live sessions, and we'll do Course in Miracles again tomorrow. Best day.